If this rack goes down, my smart home stops working. My cameras, my media server, my DNS, my reverse proxy, my backups, even my authentication layer. And here's the honest part. Most of this was installed in 2019 when this house was built, when I had a very basic understanding of networking and virtualization. It's not architectured the way I'd build it today. It's not segmented properly, it's not high availability, but it works. And that's what I wanted to show you today. Your home lab doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. This is my real infrastructure. What works, what doesn't, and where it's going next. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this entire house is wired together and what I'd do differently if I started today. Let's start with the edge of my network. In Australia, we have something called the NBN, the National Broadband Network. In my case, I have fibre to the premises, which means I have fibre that runs directly into the house. That terminates at the appropriately named Network Termination Device, or NTD for short. That's essentially the fibre modem. I currently have a 1 gigabit fibre connection. There is an option for a 2.5 gigabit upgrade, but the rest of my infrastructure doesn't support 2.5 gigabit yet. So upgrading the internet alone wouldn't give me any real benefit. From the NTD, I go into a Ubiquiti EdgeRouter, then into a tough switch, and then I use 2 separate PoE injectors for my wireless access points. Very 2019. It's been reliable, extremely reliable, but it's fragmented and there is no unified management, no consolidated PoE, and it's a very simple VLAN structure. Right now, I run a main LAN and a guest VLAN, that's it. Some IoT devices run on main and some are on guest. The decision was basically, does it need to talk to other devices? That works, but it's not clean segmentation. Proper segmentation reduces the blast radius if a device gets compromised. So if I were building this today, cameras, IoT, infrastructure and management would all be isolated properly. Back then, I didn't fully understand why that mattered. Now I do. The other connection for my tough switch goes to my office data cabinet. This is the heart of everything. In the rack, I have a Hikvision NVR for cameras, a patch panel, a Ubiquiti EdgeSwitch 24 Lite, a Synology DS216 SE NAS, a Philips Hue bridge, 2 B-Link S12 Pro mini PCs, and a generic UPS. This rack wasn't designed, it evolved. Add something, patch it in, and repeat. Physically, the house is well wired. I have Cat6 to every room, 2 UniFi UAP AC Pro access points, 10 Hikvision cameras. The hardware layer is solid. The architecture needs refinement though. The access points used to be managed by a UniFi controller running on a Raspberry Pi. That Pi failed, and I never rebuilt it. So right now, they're just running standalone. They work, but they're not centrally managed. Functional, but it's not ideal. Over time, I've realised something. Fragmented infrastructure makes things hard to maintain. Different interfaces, different update cycles, different management philosophies. What I really value now is central management. That's why I'm consolidating around UniFi. Not because it's trendy, but because the hardware quality has been excellent for me, the ecosystem is cohesive, the management interface is unified, and it reduces cognitive load. When everything lives in one stack, troubleshooting becomes simpler, and that matters. So the long-term direction is I'm going to replace the Edge router with either a UDM SE or a Pro Max. I'm then going to move it into the office rack and remove the tough switch and the edge switch entirely. I'll replace them with a single UniFi PoE switch. That switch will support 10 gigabit to 2 office desktop computers and 2.5 gigabit everywhere else. Once that's in place, upgrading to 2.5 gigabit fibre actually makes sense. Then I'll upgrade the Wi-Fi access point to the latest generation just to unify everything. As for the surveillance system, the Hikvision system works. It records reliably, but the interface isn't particularly user-friendly. And it lives outside the ecosystem that I'm building. So the plan is to replace it with a UniFi UNVR and a dedicated PoE switch. I'll also replace the cameras with UniFi cameras, and this will give me full UniFi Protect integration. It also simplifies the firmware management and network isolation. Again, it's not because the current system is broken, but because I want the entire infrastructure stack to be centrally managed. For storage, I'm currently running a Synology DS216 SE. I have my important data backed up to Backblaze B2 cloud storage, which gives me offsite protection. But it's not a full 3-2-1 strategy yet. My goal is a primary NAS, like a UniFi UNAS Pro 4 or 8, a secondary NAS physically somewhere separate in the house, and continuing the offsite backup using Backblaze. That gives me 3 copies, using 2 different media types, with one of them offsite. And this ties into something important. I strongly prefer local control. I don't want my documents, automation logic, authentication, or media dependent on external cloud services. And that's why I self-host Home Assistant, Authentik, my media, monitoring, and document storage. Right now, I'm experimenting with FileCloud, but I'll also be testing Nextcloud. Because for me, owning the infrastructure matters. Cloud has its place, but I don't want my house dependent on someone else's uptime. Now for the engine. One of the B-Link computers runs Proxmox. The other runs Jellyfin standalone. Yes, that's temporary. On the single Proxmox node, I currently run LXC containers for Pi-hole and AdGuard, both with Unbound, Nginx Proxy Manager, Uptime Kuma, and Fresh RSS. And I have VMs for Home Assistant, Proxmox Backup Server, FileCloud, managing my media files, the homepage dashboard, N8N, Authentik, the Xamad Help Desk, which I'm just testing for now, a TwinGate connector, an AI server which consists of OpenWebUI and Light LLM, and a VM that for now just runs Plex. That's a lot for one mini PC, and it's a single point of failure. I've got no clustering, no quorum, no failover. It's stable, but it's not resilient. The next step is to move Jellyfin into Proxmox. Then I can convert the second B-Link mini PC into a second Proxmox node. I can then use an old Raspberry Pi as a Q device. This will allow me to build a proper cluster and have some failover. In the long term, I plan to build a dedicated rack mount Proxmox server, but RAM prices are ridiculous at the moment and it makes it hard to justify, so that upgrade has to wait. Now for how things are powered. I have a Tesla Powerwall 2 backing up the whole house. In the rack, the UPS only protects the surveillance system and NAS. So even though the whole house has a battery backup, my rack isn't fully protected yet. The UPS works, but it's not rack mounted, so it takes up more space than it needs to. In the near future, the Tesla Powerwall 2 is being upgraded to a Powerwall 3 under warranty. I'm taking the opportunity to also add an expansion module for more storage. Long term, the UPS will become a proper rack mount unit, either Ubiquiti or one of the established enterprise vendors. I also plan to have it back up the whole rack. This system was built with limited knowledge, and it's evolved organically, but it still runs everything in my house. Smart home, cameras, media, authentication, backups, and monitoring. It's imperfect, but it works, and that's the point. You don't need perfect infrastructure to build something powerful. You just need to start. Then you learn, then you iterate. Everything I plan to upgrade is expensive, so it won't be happening overnight. Over the next year or two, everything's going to become far more cohesive. More segmented, more resilient, and more intentional. But this, right now, is version 1, and I think documenting version 1 matters. If you want to see what this infrastructure enables in the real world, then watch this video where I automated my home theatre lighting based on playback state. That automation runs on this stack, and it's a great example of why even imperfect infrastructure can still deliver powerful results. I'll see you in the next one.